The first part of Cobra Kai Season 6 has arrived, bringing us new adventures, more karate, and impressive fights. But how has it fared? Are these 5 episodes a good start? We'll find out. Today on Charlietales, we'll review the good and the bad of Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 1. As always, a warning that this video contains spoilers. Ready? Let's go! My first positive point is the stories unrelated to karate. The season begins with our protagonists living their normal lives. Cobra Kai was defeated in the previous season, so they can take a break. The new season shows how they prepare for the Seikai Taikai World Tournament, where they will face John Kreese again. However, the first 5 episodes haven't focused on the tournament itself, but on how our protagonists live their lives while preparing for the big battle. In these episodes, we've seen individual stories of each character, their desires for the future, and how they want to end this story. For example, we have Miguel's storyline about looking for a university, Johnny planning his family's future, and Daniel reflecting on what will happen with the Miyagi-Do legacy. And of course, there's Tori's tough story of dealing with her mother's grief. These are stories unrelated to karate, but tell us a lot about the protagonists' endings. If we were talking about another series, I'd say these stories are filler, or even boring. Everyone wants to see the tournament as soon as possible, which is the most important part. But in the case of Cobra Kai, it's different. If we're watching Season 6, it's because we care deeply about these characters and have watched them grow over the years. We all want them to have a good ending and be able to say goodbye on a high note. In that sense, the season made a good decision in using these episodes to prepare us for the farewell. Of course, there are fights, just like in all the seasons. But the focus of these 5 episodes hasn't been the battles, but how our characters face life with the lessons they've learned in the series. For example, we have Kenny, who is still blinded by the anger he gained in Cobra Kai, but his brother intervenes for him to go to Miyagi-Do to improve. We must remember that Cobra Kai is not just a series of fights, it also explores life philosophies. This series has shown us how characters can face the world using love, peace, hate, or revenge. The series literally started because Johnny had a miserable life after losing to Daniel in Karate Kid 1, but his suffering didn't come from losing that tournament itself. The truth is that the darkness he learned in Cobra Kai contaminated his life before meeting Daniel. Now we've seen him grow, and the focus of the series hasn't been Johnny winning tournaments but improving as a person. We've seen him mature and seek the best for himself and his new family. In fact, this family he has found came thanks to his growth as a human being. Johnny stopped being guided by hate in his life a long time ago and started looking for something better. That's why it's so interesting to see the individual stories of each character. I want them all to end well because I've accompanied them for years, since the series began. Even talking about the bad guys, I loved seeing Kyler's change this season. He started as a bully and seemed like he would never change, but he finally had his redemption arc. Small but functional. Maybe some people found these episodes a bit simple, but many others appreciate that they gave space for the characters to develop on their own. Moreover, thanks to these episodes, the tournament will have much more importance. Miguel doesn't want to win the tournament just for the sake of winning. He needs to win to secure his future at university. Robbie is going through something similar. Tori is the most extreme case. She's dealing with her mother's death, and karate is the only way she has to cope. In that sense, the season has well established the characters' motivations, and I'm eager to see these motivations clash in the Seikai Taikai. My second positive point is the battles. Cobra Kai fans are used to excellent fight choreography and high-level confrontations, and this season does well in fulfilling this mission. Among my favorite fights is the one at the university, and of course, the battle between Miguel and Robbie. Of course, the fights in Season 6 haven't been the best in the series. We haven't seen a battle that surpasses Hawk vs. Robbie in the All-Valley Tournament final, nor have we seen anything as incredible as the school fight in Season 2. Season 6 doesn't have the best battles, but it has shown quite decent fights. My favorite fight is undoubtedly Johnny Lawrence vs. Mike Barnes. The series found a way to give us this battle, and justified it well. Additionally, this fight highlighted Johnny Lawrence's great development. If we look closely, he initially used his traditional Cobra Kai techniques, and Barnes defeated him easily. However, Johnny then used Miyagi-Do techniques to surprise him, which gave him the victory. These are subtle details, but those who know the series surely noticed. This fight served to show us how Johnny has matured and wants to continue with the teachings of Miyagi-Do. Personally, it's hard for me to believe that Johnny could continue the Miyagi-Do legacy, but scenes like this change my perspective. To summarize this point, the fights have been quite good, and although they haven't been the best in the series, they have met my expectations. I'm eager to see the confrontations in the Sekai Taikai. Now let's go with my negative point of the episodes. I've titled this point, The Repetitive Formulas. Cobra Kai is already in its 6th season, and it's quite challenging to bring new stories. That's why it's normal for them to repeat ideas we've seen many times before. For example, the classic fight between Daniel and Johnny has returned this season. This was the basis of the series' beginning, and was stretched many times. Johnny and Daniel would resolve their problems in one episode, but in the next, they would fight again. Finally, both matured, and by season 4, they left their grudges behind. They united to defeat Kreese and Terry Silver. It seemed they managed to overcome their problems, and since then, they worked together. However, in season 6, they revived the resource through a new, somewhat forced conflict. Johnny makes negative comments about Miyagi, and Daniel takes it quite badly. And they already said that when the tournament ends, they will separate definitively. For me, this idea is quite repetitive and predictable. We all know these two will become friends again as the season progresses. And don't get me wrong, for me, it's normal for them to fight a bit, since their training styles are different. They were obviously going to have conflicts, but getting to the point of making them enemies again is quite repetitive and no longer impactful for me. This also happens with other characters. For example, they revived the conflicts between Hawk and Dimitri. We already saw this in the first 3 seasons. The series is clearly repeating patterns to fill the space before the important fights. It's evident that they're struggling to come up with plots to make season 6 work. Another repetitive idea is Tori falling into Cobra Kai's darkness again. However, here it's well justified because her mother died, and we need Tori and Cobra Kai to develop her relationship with Kreese. In this case, it's super necessary for Tori to become one of the bad guys again. Also, this betrayal adds more conflict to the season since Cobra Kai needed warriors. I found it a functional way to balance the scales. In conclusion, Cobra Kai Season 6 started excellently. It has shown us great battles and a lot of interesting context for our characters. I've greatly enjoyed all the stories in the episodes. However, the season also suffers from repeating formulas we've seen many times in the series. Outside of these details, the season started off great, and I'm eager to see the rest. But anyway, that's all for today. If you liked the video, you would help me a lot by leaving a like. That would be legendary. Also remember to subscribe because I'll be uploading more videos about your favorite movies. Thanks for listening. My name is Charlie, and I'll see you in the future.